This conference will now be recorded.
Flowing.
For me, Ben?
Did the nice lady come on and say this meeting will now be recorded?
She did,
All
yes.
right. So with
Yes.
your indulgence, Mr. Chair, I'll administer the meeting. It does sound like we will meet one more time in virtual session. So if we have an August meeting, or a July meeting, no, August meeting, beginning of August, it would be virtual, and then hopefully in September we can get back to face with everyone. So thank you for joining us tonight. I will call the July 1, 2021 meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission to order. It is 5:32 p.m. We do have a quorum with members Ramp, Davis, and DeBoss. And now Ken Rosso joining us on video. And then member Noel has joined us on just her audio. So welcome everybody. We do have a quorum. At this point, I will call the meeting to order and ask, is there anyone suggesting approval of the agenda?
Noel will move approval.
DeVos will move. DeVos will second.
All right. Any other discussion on the agenda? If not, all in favor say aye.
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 We do have an agenda adopted. You have the minutes from the May 6, 2021 meeting in your packet. Are there any noted corrections, alterations? And if not, would anyone make a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the May 6th.
Is there a second?
Rosso, I'll second.
And a second by Ken Rosso. All in favor of the minutes as presented, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. And we have minutes. New business. This is kind of a follow-up of what we had done last month. Just to give you an update, as you recall, last month you did recommend the annexation of the Weelborg radio tower site, the adjoining sliver of land owned by Gustavus, and then again a sliver of land that's assembled with the Calvary Cemetery property. The City Council held a public hearing on May 24th, and they have approved that. At the end of May 25th, I was gone for about a month, dealing with some personal matters, and so it didn't move forward at all. I've got everything submitted into Minnesota Boundary Adjustments for their approval since I've returned. And the only thing I'm waiting on is I need a revised letter from Oshawa Township, given that they need to comment on adding the Calvary Cemetery. As you'll recall, the township did provide correspondence saying that they would waive any future taxation on the annexed property, largely because it's majority of its tax exempt and doesn't raise any taxes. But with the addition of the Calvary Cemetery, the state's making me jump through a hoop and have the township make a statement that they are going to forego any taxation on a property that doesn't have any taxation. So I'm on the township board scheduled for the 13th. We'll get that sent in, and I do expect that annexation will be approved in short order. So upon annexation, then Mr. Weelborg is looking to provide for a lot split of his current property. And this is in anticipation of a planned sale to Gustavus Adolphus College. Mr. Weelborg has provided information and application then for what's called an administrative lot split or a certificate of survey. As you recall, we did a very similar thing with the Duos property on Elm Street to take that single family and convert it into 2 single family lots. So it's a similar situation. In this case, it involves 4 lots. It would involve that sliver of land of Gustavus that was annexed, the radio tower site, and then the balance of the KRBI property, which is owned by Mr. Weelborg, specifically Ruth Ann Weelborg as a trustee. On page 6, you can see the Hammerhead parcel that's owned by Weelborg. You'll see the tree line towards the south of that. That is that sliver of land owned by Gustavus. On page 7, you can see 1031 West Gray Street. Again, that's the former KRBI radio station site where Mr. Weelborg then has repurposed it for his financial consulting office. On page 8, you can see the lot line that is subject to being relocated. They'd like to take that western property or eastern property line of that hammerhead and then move that, as you can see on my depiction, to create a parcel then that would be exchanged and sold to Gustavus Adolphus, and they would assemble that with their college campus property. Mr. Weelborg or Ruth Ann Weelborg Trust then would maintain ownership of the KRBI building where they actually had the production and the studios. And then there's a couple solar panels as well as another outbuilding. If you were to approve the administrator lot split or recommend that to the city council, it would create 2 lots, or essentially 4 lots, but 2 of them are unchanged, that Hammerhead and the small Gustavus. And then it would have a parcel the Gustavus would own. There's another depiction on page 9. And what I had sent out this morning has the legal description for the parcels that would be remaining. And I would hold up was I wanted to get that in a Word form so I could cut and paste the legal descriptions. I think Ken's aware from his work at the bank and property that if you try to retype those, it's inherent that you're going to have a small error or 2 in there. So, you know, it used to be you'd type it and you'd hand it to your coworker and you'd reread it, every comma, paragraph, semicolon, and all that. But inherently, when you're doing that, it's subject to an error. So I wanted to make sure I had a cut and paste document from Bolton and Mink that I could just put into that document, and they came through. Let me call this up here in just one moment. So it starts out as a 5.92 acre parcel. That's the Weelborg property, and they'd like to split that into parcel 3, which would be 4.33 acres. That's the parcel that's subject to a sale transfer to Gustavus. And then the balance of the KRBI property that Mr. Weelborg would retain ownership would be 1.59 acres. Both properties would meet the minimum size and minimum dimensions for a developable lot. In the zoning district that it is, I would expect that upon the annexation or upon the sale, that Gustavus then will petition to have their new property rezoned to match the educational institutional district of the balance of the Gustavus campus property. At this point, I think we have enough. We can manage it. I'll just say if there's any questions, go ahead and ask. I thought it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon. Again, it's an administrative lots survey or essentially what they call a certificate of survey. The other is that registered land survey, which is a little bit more involved. And the difference is one's applied to Torrance property and the other one's applied to abstract property. So in this instance, the administrative lot split would be the appropriate remedy to provide for the split as they desire.
Yeah,
If there aren't any compelling questions, would anyone move the resolution providing for the lot split?
Davis would move the resolution.
We have a motion. Is there a second? And we have a second by Mr. DeVos. At this point, I'm going to go through and we'll have one roll call opportunity and you can make any comments or ask any questions. And I'll start with Ben Ramft.
Yay.
Okay, well, we'll get to the vote here in a moment. Is just, do you have any comment or questions?
No.
Okay, Member Noel?
I have no questions. It seems in order and pretty straightforward.
Very, very good. Member Davis?
Just out of sheer curiosity, is that concrete square where the old tower was? Radio tower?
That's on parcel 3?
Yeah, or it doesn't matter. I'm just curious.
The 1031.
Yeah, I think the radio tower was on that hammerhead piece.
Okay. Yeah.
That's just from recollection, but I guess that's the best answer I could give you right at
Sure,
this
yeah,
moment.
that's good.
So,
No real questions.
okay. Member DeVos.
No questions. It just simply seems like a natural fit for everything going on there for this to essentially get sold to Gustavus in the end. So
Very good. Member Rosso.
Very logical, no questions.
Okay, very good. At this point, then, we have a motion and a second. I will call a roll call vote, and I'll begin with Member Ramps.
Yay.
Thank you. Member Noel.
Aye.
Member Davis.
Aye.
Member DeVos.
aye.
Member Rosso.
Aye.
Very good, thank you. Your recommendation for approval then will be considered by the city council on the 12th of July, at which point they will hold the public hearing. So mailed notice has been provided. It's should have been in the Herald today. It's posted outside the city administrator's office. So thank you. The next item is under reports, and I guess I already provided a report. The council approved the Weelborg Gustavus Calvary Cemetery ordinance to annex that on the 24th, and at the end of business on the 25th, I was gone for about a month. I'm dealing with some medical issues. It's good to be back, but nothing happened on that annexation, so we're just starting to get that sent in. The fee's been sent in, the ordinance has been sent in. A actual Word document with legal description has been sent in. What I'm waiting on is when we annex property by ordinance, the township has an opportunity to comment. And when we did the first annexation with the Gustavus and Weelborg property, Oshawa Township supported the annexation and waived any future taxation that they may be due on the properties in question. Now we had to redo the matter and add a third property, which is tax exempt. So I'm scheduled to be on the township town board meeting on the 13th, where I'm going to ask them to forego any tax collections on the tax exempt property of the Calvary Cemetery. So I don't anticipate any trouble. It's just the state's making me jump through one more hoop. So it should work out just fine as far as timing on getting everything done. But actually the registered land survey might be held up a couple weeks just until we get the final word on the annexation. But it really shouldn't mess with anyone's plans. So that's all I had for reports. Typically we do have an opportunity perhaps to have a question or two if they're pertinent to planning and zoning.
I just want to say it's good to have you back, Russ.
I had a college professor that said it's better to be seen than viewed. And I have a better understanding for what he was talking about. So yes, it's nice to be back. Thank you, Brad. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have nothing else to discuss or business for the good of the Planning Commission, I'd suggest it'd be appropriate for a motion to adjourn.
This is Rosso, and I will so move with the encouragement to go home, Russ, and relax.
Watch your twins, maybe.
There you go.
Try to keep my blood pressure low.
I thought he said relax, watching the twin.
I turned him off last night. So is there a second to the motion for adjournment?
Davis would second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. I will just do a roll call and say all in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. We will intend to meet on August 5th. It would be the first Thursday. So at this moment, I don't have anything for an agenda, but that's certainly a subject to change. So thank you all very much for your continued service, for your time this evening, and for the decision that you put forward. So I greatly appreciate all of your help.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank
Good
you.
night, everybody.
Good night,
Yeah, have a
everybody.
very good evening.
Happy
Have a good
4th.
holiday
care.
weekend.
Yep.
Oh yeah, happy 4th.